universe is crazy and I don't know what to do. So I made a podcast for me and for you. Pizza sauce and diggly digs, everybody loves the digs. Japanese girls and 80s flicks, rock and roll like Stevie Nicks. Mafia humor, Zelda rules, telling you what's wrong with school. Bruno James and Dan Marino, talking shit on people we know. Hockey fights and cracking beers, living life without no fear. Oh, my brain, what's inside? I don't know what to write.
Like weird Japanese shit.
Turtles and Hot Pockets. If you don't like those, I don't want to be friends.
You better check yourself, boy. You wreck yourself. Oh, that's my ODB impression. Oh, it's also an old man being scared by a cat in an alley. It's the ODB. Oh, you better check yourself. So I've been playing Mortal Kombat 11. It's awesome. I haven't played a Mortal Kombat game since maybe 4 or 5. We had it in college. For some reason, one of us had it. And it became like each of us just looking up the moves while the other one was in class. I lived with 3 of my buddies. And it would be like, I got to go to class. And you'd be sitting there yeah, I got to get this paper done. As soon as they're out the door, you're like, how to do fatalities. And it just became this, each time somebody came back from class, they knew a whole bunch of new shit. And you're like, dude, it's pretty clear you've been practicing all day while I'm at class. Then you would try to just get real good, real fast before they got back and then whoop their ass. It's great. I mean, Mortal Kombat's the best. I grabbed it because me and my girlfriend have this tradition for New Year's. It's 2022 that we grab a video game. We buy something on our Switch and we just play. It's it's relatively inexpensive. You can get a game for $10 or $20, whatever you want to spend. There's a lot of indie games. The one year we played it, we missed the entire thing. The next thing we knew, it was 1 a.m. and we were like, oh shit, we've been playing Overcooked 2 for 5 hours. It's a lot of fun, just make a bunch of food, grab some drinks. It's cozy, it's relaxing. And I don't know, it's just a great little tradition. I'd say try it out. This year we got this Snipper Clips game. It's like paper, you got to cut it. It's like a puzzle game. It's adorable. It's very novel and interesting the way you have to work together to cut each other into different shapes to then solve these puzzles, which I thought it was real easy. I was like, this game stinks. It wasn't worth $20. Very quickly, it became us all right, let's give this a break. I cannot figure out these children's puzzles. It's very difficult. So then I grabbed Mortal Kombat. It was on sale for 80%. And I watched this trailer. That's why I'm singing the Wu-Tang. I could not resist after I watched this trailer. It's amazing how great these trailers are for video games. They sell the shit out of them. I know there's that stat for Amazon products, a good video for an Amazon product sells the product, whatever, way more effectively. They're 5 times more sales or something outrageous. When they do these games, I watched this trailer and my girlfriend was nodding out. And I'm sitting there bopping my head to Wu-Tang. And then literally she wakes up out of sleep and I'm buying the game 30 seconds later. I was like, dude, I got to get this. It was $10. It was normally $50. How are you going to fight that? How are you going to resist the Wu? Huh? Check this shit out, though. It was unbelievable. This trailer, they did old school meets new school because that's kind of the idea going on in the game. It's they brought the universes of the old games. And either way, it's kick ass. Anyway, it's kick ass. Speaking of the 90s, he says go back to the 90s. I only just realized that these games, it's Mortal Kombat. And that's how much of a shit speller I am, is that they misspelled combat with a K, on purpose, obviously, cool with a K. It's so 90s, but I had no clue. I'm just yeah, combat. That's how you spell that. And then what's hilarious is when you get in the game, all of the continue screens, move on to the next thing in the game. It continue is spelled with a K. It's just this reckless abandon of this is how we spell. We use K wherever the hell we want. It's very 90s of them that I love that they keep that going. And then what the fuck was I doing? I got 2 different Google tabs open right now. I don't know what the fuck's going on. One, I'm signed in on one, and the other, it's an absolute, it's anarchy. It's anarchy. So as I got this Mortal Kombat, I haven't really been into anything specifically. I'm trying to get myself back interested in things. I'm reading a little bit of history, obviously, about the Battle of Hastings, William the Conqueror. Either way, I'm trying to get back involved with things. And I realized this is like the answer to everyone's like social problems. Like it was just the holidays. There's a lot of social events. People get burnout. You got to talk to a lot of people, especially with like COVID. If you haven't been around a lot of people, like I haven't due to, different situations, it can be a lot to talk to people. So here's my little tip for tackling social interactions in general. You can use this whenever, but definitely over the holidays, just hammer into something very oddball out there, very esoteric. I'm not saying it has to be completely weird. These are normal things to a lot of people. But for example, Mortal Kombat 11 isn't everybody's cup of tea. Take in as much information about Mortal Kombat 11 as you can, and every single person you run into, when they ask you what you've been up to, you just drill down. I mean, you just pound that ear. People think I'm not aware that I overtalk. I like to push the boundaries of how far can I just talk to somebody about something that they have no clue about until borderline they're almost ready to assault me. They have to get to the point where they're just like, I got to go to the bathroom, or I got to get something's burning on the stove. Like how far past that can I push? When their eyes glaze over, can I get an extra 5 minutes? And it needs to be something that really is oddball to them. So again, video games, movies, comic books. I mean, it could be history is a good one, especially it's like history. It's like French history. There's like, what are you talking about? Just really drive down. And I mean, you got to have your details right too. So like Mortal Kombat, they'll come up to me and be like, hey, what have you been up to, man? Work a lot and the kids, the dog, just... busy, same old, because everyone wants to just talk about the same shit. Sports, weather, their kids, their dogs, blah, 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 blah. Then when they ask you, you go, oh, you know what, dude? I've been playing Mortal Kombat 11. Dude, you will not believe what's happened over the years. So here's what's going on. So 𝐂𝐿 Kahn has come back, and Kronos. So there's this. All right, let me restart. Kronos is like this time interdimensional being, and she doesn't like what's happened on the time scale of life. So she's going to revert things back and make sure that there's an alternate timeline where things unravel the way she wants. So what happens? Now, check this out, dude. What happens is she brings these alternate timelines together where the old Mortal Kombat characters meet up with the new Mortal Kombat characters. So now Sub-Zero and the Lin Yu. Now the Lin Yu have gotten taken over by these shadow people. And then there's Cyrex. Now Cyrex I thought was a baddie, but he's not. He was actually just taken over. So then they revert him back to his good self. And he's actually an ally. But then Raiden is talking to the old gods. And even the old gods are messed up with this whole timeline. Now, are you with me here? So what happens is then these timelines cross, you see, and they need to make it that time doesn't get reverted, even though they kind of want it to, they don't. But basically what's happening is you're still fighting 𝐂𝐿 Kahn, but it's like past meets present, you know what I mean? Kind of thing like that. So you just keep that up for as long as you can. But I mean, you really got to be into it. I'm not into it right now because I don't see the pain on the person's face. It's not as good. It's not as good. I need to really see the abuse in action. You can feel that pull away, that slow. What was that? You need that. That's my tip for social situations. Get into something. It doesn't matter. If you have kids, find one of their TV shows and just talk about it ad nauseum. I know there's that great skit by Patton Oswalt about like My Little Ponies or something, and he knows the entire universe of My Little Ponies like a Star Wars fan. I think that's the reference he gives, like how he knows Star Wars or Star Trek. He gets into this My Little Ponies. I guess it dawned on me at some point that anything I talk about, be it like Japanese anime or Chinese history or whatever it is, people want out, and which is great for me because then they piss off and I can just go get a beer and sit on the couch and play chess on my phone or go bother somebody else, really. You know what I mean? And it's great if you have the exact same conversation because one, you'll get better at it. Two, they'll all leave the party being like, yeah, how's everybody? Hey, you know, you get to talk to everybody. Yeah, I talked to Matt. He was talking to me about like Mortal Kombat 11. Like he's really into it. Like, I don't know if that's like what he's doing now. Like, is that his job? I'm not sure. Does he work for like a video game? What is going on? And then like everyone was like, yeah, he did that to me too. I have no fucking clue what he's talking about. It's a lot funnier if you just keep it up and then everybody's like, what the fuck is wrong with that dude? It's funny. People's suffering is funny to me. But I don't know. I'm trying to figure shit out. It's a new year. Whatever. Here's my whole thing with like, we're in the future. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, it's just another year to us. But if you look at these numbers, like 2022, it doesn't feel right. The reason is because we're now living in the future that we projected through all of our mediums. So if you look at movies, TV, books, video games, everything we've been producing as entertainment for the last 42 years, I would say since around 1980, probably the end of the 70s, it's all been this dystopian, post-apocalyptic. None of it's been positive. There's not one movie that projects the year 2025 or any of these years good. You know, put it that simple. Not one of them is there a positive spin on how the future is going to go. At some point in history, you know, you always see the old 1950s, 1940s, like post-World War II, like the popular science magazines and stuff. And it says, the bright new future, flying cars, your home will attend to your every need. Like, this isn't to say that everything's horrible. I know there's those books out there that you look at like the economic data and all this stuff. And a lot of people are being pulled out of poverty and all this stuff. But we've been depicting this dystopian type of society for so long that it becomes this kind of like chicken and the egg thing. Like, did the world go to shit? And then we just started to depict it that way in the Terminators and all the sci-fi films and the, you know, the 2045s and all this, every video game, everything's fallen apart into ruin and all the books. It's like, was it already bad and then we just depicted it that way more? Or are we depicting it that way and we're kind of manifesting our own awful future? I don't know, but it's interesting to consider that nothing is really that good. You know, nothing's going great, I would say. From a, you know, it all depends. It's a bias, of course, what you pay attention to. Unfortunately, most people are paying attention to the horrificness, so therefore it kind of manifests more of itself. There's a lot of good stuff out there you could pay attention to, which I try to. You know, that's why I try to get interested in other things that are going on. There's a lot of cool stuff people are doing out there, a lot of beautiful, creative things that people are working on. We just don't pay attention to them. But it's worth a thought that this future that we're living in is kind of the future that we projected from all these movies and stuff. It's like we're there now and it ain't what we want. It's not great. So I always get a kick out of that. It's like people are like, it's shit. Everything's hell. The economy, everything's shit. The fucking president, the politics, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, because we're living in the years from the 80s movies. They predicted that it would be shit. So what is the big surprise? We're here now and it ain't great. It ain't great. Is that the name of this episode? It ain't great. I don't know. You know, the other thing I realized, I'm trying to get a sense of what's going on in the world. I don't mean really political. Like what I say, when I say that, it has no basis to reality, really. It does, though. Like Tim Dillon, I just watched a couple of minutes of his his newest podcast, and he's talking about how reality, like our fake realities that people are living in that were kind of seem not real, or actually that is reality. It's just kind of everything seems fake now because it's hard for people to comprehend what's going on or stay attached with things. And this is something I've been kind of wrestling with. It's like the speed is really what's getting me. I don't know if it's just something that I finally kind of realized or what it is, but I finally realized kind of the speed with which things move, where when I was in China for a couple of years, there was a bit of detached nature because like detached from the Western world because of the firewall, and internet didn't work great a lot of times. And also I was just in a big city that made me live in a bubble. Like people that live in New York, you kind of put your head underwater and then you come out and the whole world, you're like, wait, I just spent 10 years in New York and what the hell? Like that went by in a blip. Because you get in these cities that are so large, they kind of just become all consuming. It's the relationships of the people in the city is all that matters. What's happening? Oh, there's a jazz fest in the park today, and there's this thing, and there's that, and there's a softball team gathering, and there's this thing, and that. And it's just like the ball rolls to the point that you come up for air, and years have passed. So there's a bit of that going on as well. But I just realized like the speed with which things are moving that I don't understand even that they existed, let alone what they are. Like I just found out this Reddit RPAN thing. It's like a Reddit live stream. I didn't even know. I still don't even know how to use Reddit. I don't understand it. My girlfriend uses it. Not that I don't understand it. I know there's stories, you click on them, blah, 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 whatever. But I don't really know how to engage with it very well. I'm just kind of like, it just seems like stuff thrown at like an internet board. It's like a dorm room, common hall cork board of shit thrown at it. I don't understand. And then there's a live stream apparently. And it's like, not only did I not know how this worked, I didn't even know it existed. And then I'm looking at it and, then I find out this guy's like married to Venus Williams. It's all just very confusing to me. It's disturbing. I don't understand what's going on. I'm like, what is this? This guy made this? Like, when did that happen? It used to be that there was one thing that came about and we were blown away by it. Like there's this Facebook thing. Now there's like so much shit, so rapid and moving so fast in these like sub worlds. Like everything's being divided up. For example, in that streaming thing, there's this guy just doing like Mario speed runs and it's absurd. It's like, what is happening? There's 20,000 people watching this guy. I'm not saying that it's a stupid thing. It's fascinating and it is cool. And, you know, they have an insane amount of talent when they do these things. If you've ever played any of these games, they do these speed run throughs of these Mario levels, but it's just absurd. It's like there's 20,000 people watching this right now and interacting with it and commenting. And this dude's just sitting in his apartment vaping like... Yeah, J Gigolo 5 says, love it, man. I do feel more sexy. And you're like, what am I watching? It's just like your brain can't process any of it. I'm not saying it's dumb or it's shit or anything. It's so hard to just come to terms with the reality that we're living in, I think. And that's for like me. I do have a bit of a sense of these things. I know how to use a lot of this technology. To me, if it's wild, what the hell? Most of the world doesn't even know this stuff's going on. And maybe that's where we're headed, is like these subcultures where you exist within your own little world and like you're a superstar within your own little thing, which I don't know if this is good or bad. Maybe I think it's kind of bad because then you get in these, echo chamber, little tribal situations. But it's good in the sense that people all find their place. You know, you don't need to be this big, mega star type of thing. Like you're a star within your own little world, not even a star. You just find a place where you can find happiness and a community of people that support each other. In that sense, it's better. You know, it's good for people to have a place to go as opposed to building bombs in their basement. You go to the Mario speed run through, spend your time on that. That's value. That's good for society. We don't need you tinkering and looking up how to make biological agents with a high school chemistry kit that you can order on Amazon. It's not good. Okay. You stay away from the library. We don't need you in there. You go to video. So parents are like, the kids are playing video games are not the problem. They need more video games. Duct tape a fucking switch to their head. Keep them out of the library. It's no good in there. Knowledge is power. What do you not understand? Bad power. Keep these kids stupid. All right. I don't know. All right. That's enough of this shit for today. I'll see you next time.
Rock and roll, baby.
I gotta get a Sambo.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, man, come on. Yeah.
Everyone thinks not doing shit's easy, but it's not. Fucking
I'm
night.
gonna get weird and go paint some stuff.
That's enough of this bullshit for one day.
sometimes you just gotta slam them fuckers.
Oh, sure.